Good morning. I just want to run through an idea that I had with polishing. The idea is a way in which we can look at the screen spacing and also just have a look at things in polishing. At the moment, what I've tended to do was to use a rivet script and then put something like a locator or an object onto a body part and then track that, but that seems to be taking ages, and it is something which I find a bit annoying, and I tend not to do it after a while. And that would be using one of the Animation Mentor arc tracker tools, which is fine, but I thought I'd just do something slightly different. So normally what I do is I would be hiding all of my set and my unnecessary characters and whatever, just to minimize things and to turn off dynamics and get rid of anything and minimize, instead of having it level 3, level 1, so everything moves nice and fast. And then I'll be tracking it. But again, it does become a bit difficult to see things, so I'll get rid of that locator on the nose, and here's my PolishBuddy. So the idea is you can select your character. I've got 2 characters in the scene. There's the talent agent, and you select the body part that you want to track, say her nose, and then you go make marker. So then it goes off and creates a little nose sphere that tracks the position of her nose. So now I can hide her and just look at what's happening with the nose over time. And once we've got that, you've got the options of either checking the spacing or checking the arcs, and then we'll go off and check the polish. So I'll say check spacing, and then we go click check polish, and it goes through the whole thing, and it works out the spacing over that period of 87 frames and draws a little spacing graph on the bottom here. And what it also does is you've got a little duplicate of the arcs here that we can look at and analyze and have a look and see what's going on, where we've got some weird stuff happening, say here or here, and specifically if you want to see where that was in the graph. Now I think this is a bit buggy, but I can also go check arcs and click check polish, and then it draws my arcs corresponding to what's going on here, and then you've got, that's a 3-dimensional one, whereas this one's being projected directly into screen space. So this one gives you a more accurate idea of the camera dependent way the arcs are moving, and this one just shows you over time. So you've got your spacing here per frame, so as you move through here, the little thing moves up along the curves of the track in space. So again, if you were to go into a perspective view, you'd see that that is tracking along a 3-dimensional track. So you can have a look at the way things are moving in space. Things like here that might not be flowing around, you can look at that particular point in space. Whereas from the screen space, it's much more important to see the way things look from the point of view of the camera. So this curve here, just look at here, that's been parented to the camera, it's flattened to the camera. So you've got your horizontal and vertical spacing across here. And with these ticks as well, you'll see each of the ticks corresponds to the frame number. So this one here corresponds to frame 34. So that's frame 34. So you can see from between, say, frame 23 and 34, 23 and 34, I've got a bit of a sticking point where things don't seem to be moving, and then a great big change in space, and then some more sticking at frame 48 to 55. So I can say quite clearly 48 to 55, not much is going on in the vertical sense, but here you can see also from 48 to 55 it's almost completely locked horizontally as well. So that may be what you want, but at least you can see visually when you're getting sticking points or when spacing is not necessarily working very well. So there you go. And then if you want to change it to a different part, if you want to now track the index finger, it gives you the option of symmetry. So I can say I want to track my right finger, make the marker, there's my marker on the finger, and just to show that it's not just me being silly, there it is on her finger. and now I can check my polish on that finger. It takes a while because it's actually running through frame by frame, but now you've got your tracking on that finger, and this one over here is going to be a bit weird, so that's why I put it over here. You can select it and I've centered the pivot on that, so you can just pull it around and have a look at it as like a graph on the side here and see what's going on. So there's some crazy stuff happening over here. I'm not actually sure about this. I think it's possible even that let me have a look. That's turn off echo. When you select a point, it's CV77. There are exactly the same number of points in this curve, I think, as there are frames. So it's possible that you could even look at the curve and find out whereabouts in the animation that's occurring as well, just by inspecting the points. So there we go. So it's just a simple thing. If I want to now inspect, say, instead of the index, I'll select the wrist and check the polish on the wrist. Actually, I need to change that, my mistake. That's still on the index. I need to update it and make the marker, so that's the same thing. I need to update it so now it goes down to the wrist and then check your polish. So it's important that you update your marker first, and then it will show you what's happening with the object in particular. So there you go. I can't guarantee it's going to work everywhere. I haven't tested it on anyone else's files, but if you're interested in trying it out, I think it largely depends upon the way you've set up your character as well. In mine I've got, and I've taken the time to use a rename function on my character. So say for example with Renfield here, I've gone through and replaced every instance using the Comet rename script, every instance of Bishop with the word Renfield. So I've got an absolutely unique character. If you're using file referencing, you'd have to find out the full section of that, but it looks for the etc file. I think the etc file, or no, it actually looks for the AC rig. So whatever you've named your character as AC rig, it will look for that. But again, mine works in a peculiar way that it looks specifically for everything to be the same from here backwards. So wherever you've got Bishop, as long as it's the same all the way backwards, you may end up with a rather long character name, but that just keeps it simple for me. Okay, so that's that, and hope that that's interesting to someone. If not, that's fine, but just another exploration of my timing and spacing script, as well as a tracking. So even if you just to use it just to track your points, I think that's pretty cool as well. So you can track your eyes as your right eye or your left eye. You can see that on her. So there's the right eye, left eye, and I think I haven't actually got one on the head because I don't think tracking the head is that interesting. But if you do want one on the head, just let me know and I'll add it. It's pretty simple. But the main things that I track are the root. So with the root, you'll see that it doesn't show up, but it's there. And if you can't select it, there's a button here saying select marker. So if you wanted to make it bigger, you can, or even to the side, just say you wanted to track something on the side there, you can always track it that way, or even scale it up and move it back, so when you hide your character, you'll see a much bigger representation for the root, and then you can check your polish on the root, and you can see it doesn't move that much. Not this character anyway. Okay, so there you go, the PolishBuddy. If you enjoyed this, please pass by my public review and give me some feedback, because I really appreciate everything that everyone says, and I'm always looking to try and improve what I do. So thank you very much and have a really great day. Bye.